It was the season when the earth awakens, the time when kings usually lead their men into the heart of the battle. But this year, a strange stillness had settled over the palace of Jerusalem. While the dust of the desert rose beneath the feet of Israel's army, King David remained behind his high stone walls. He was a man of 1,000 victories, yet he was about to face his greatest defeat in the silence of his own home. One evening, as the heat of the day gave way to a bruised purple sky, David sought the cool air of the palace roof. From this height, he could see the entirety of his kingdom, a sea of stone houses and flickering oil lamps. But his gaze did not linger on the horizon. It fell instead into a nearby courtyard. There, a woman named Bathsheba was bathing. The moonlight danced upon the water, and in that moment, the king's wisdom vanished like mist. She was the wife of Uriah the Hittite, one of his most loyal, mighty men. Yet, looking down from his heights, David saw only his own desire. He did not see a sister in faith or a soldier's wife. He saw an object to be possessed. The invitation was sent. The shadow of a single night began to stretch across the history of a nation. Sin, once conceived, demands a hiding place. Weeks later, a messenger arrived with a whisper that shattered the king's peace. "I am with child." The secret was outgrowing the shadows. David, the man who had faced Goliath with a single stone, now trembled at the thought of a scandal. He summoned Uriah from the front lines, masking his treachery with the appearance of royal concern. "Tell me of the war, Uriah. Tell me of Joab and the men," David said, while pouring wine with a steady hand that hid a shaken heart. He urged Uriah to go home, to rest, to be with his wife. He wanted the child to be claimed by the husband. But Uriah was a man of honor that David had forgotten existed. He slept at the palace gates among the servants. "The ark of God and the men of Israel are in tents in the open fields," Uriah declared. "How could I go home to eat and drink and lie with my wife? As surely as you live, I will not do such a thing." Uriah's integrity was a mirror that showed David his own filth. To save his reputation, the king decided that the mirror had to be broken. The sun rose on a cold morning as David sat at his desk. He wrote a letter, a cold, calculated command. He handed the parchment to Uriah. It was a death warrant, and the soldier was to be his own executioner's messenger. "Put Uriah in the forefront of the hardest fighting," the letter commanded Joab. "Then draw back from him so he may be struck down." The scene shifts to the dusty walls of Rabbah. We see Uriah leading the charge with a cry of loyalty. He looks back for his brothers in arms but finds only empty space. The army had retreated. He stood alone against a rain of arrows. One by one, the shafts found their mark. As Uriah drew his final breath on the scorched earth, he died thinking he was a fallen hero. He never knew his king had pushed him into the grave. Back in Jerusalem, Bathsheba mourned. But when the days of weeping were over, David brought her into the palace. He thought the silence of the grave was final. He thought the crown could cover the blood on his hands. A year passed. A son was born. The secret seemed safe. But then came Nathan the prophet. He did not come with accusations at first. He came with a story. He spoke of a rich man with many flocks and a poor man with only one little ewe lamb that ate from his own plate and slept in his arms. He told of how the rich man stole that one lamb to feed a traveler. David's righteous anger flared. "As the Lord lives, the man who did this must die," he thundered. The silence that followed was suffocating. Nathan looked into the king's eyes and uttered the words that would echo through eternity. "You are the man." The weight of the sky seemed to collapse onto David's shoulders. The prophet continued, "You struck down Uriah with the sword and took his wife. Now the sword shall never depart from your house." David did not offer excuses. He did not call the guards. He fell to his knees. "I have sinned against the Lord," he whispered. It was the first time in a year that he had spoken the truth. The child died, a heavy price for a heavy sin. For 7 days, David fasted and wept on the earth, learning the true cost of his pride. But God's mercy is deeper than a king's failure. In time, another son was born to David and Bathsheba. They named him Solomon, meaning peace. God loved him. Out of the wreckage of betrayal and murder, a new branch of the royal line began to grow, a line that would one day lead to the Prince of Peace himself. David was a man of blood, a man of sin, but through his brokenness, he became a man after God's own heart. His story tells us that no one is too high to fall, but more importantly, no one is too low to be redeemed if they truly turn back.